Hey, and welcome back to Sexy Psychology, where we aim to make those brain gains step by step.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my love, love's going to...
So before we get into anything, I know that I haven't been uploading the videos as regularly as I should. However, I'm working with some projects behind the scenes that I hope you guys will be able to see quite soon. Having said that, let's just jump into it. So last time we talked about emotions, and we will continue talking about emotions today. Because as we suggested, we should aim to understand our emotions much better. The next step in doing that would be to understand what function emotions play in our lives. So we now know that emotions are both physiological and psychological response to an event. And we can divide that into three main components. Arousal, being the fuel for our emotions. Feelings, the subjective meaning we give to those emotions. And the third thing is also the thing we will focus on in this video, is motivation. So let's have a new segment on the show. Let's dumb things down. So emotions are usually triggered by an event. So this can be anything from something you hear in a conversation or something you see on the street. Emotions send action signals to the muscles and organs of the body to prepare us for doing something about that emotion. So each emotion carries a general motivation. For behavior selected from the broad categories of approach, avoid, attack. So to sum it down, basic evolutionary skills that have been necessary for us human beings throughout time. So if the event triggering the emotion is promising, the behavioral response, our response, might be in the direction of wanting to learn more, being more curious, and basically approaching the situation. The event is dangerous, on the other hand, we might want to avoid. So that can be something from you watching somebody being shot outside, from you wanting to avoid a conversation with your mom about marriage. So basically, an event triggers an emotion, emotions send action signals to the rest of our muscles, our organs, and then that results into behavior. So in the beginning of the video, I said, if you understand this concept of motivation, you might be able to change your life. So what did I mean by that? So when it comes to emotions in general, at least I can say from my experience watching everybody around my life, most of us try to avoid, and that is understandable. It is difficult to make yourself vulnerable. And to be honest, probably not a smart idea to make yourself vulnerable to everybody around you. But the key here is to understand why we do the things we do. So in a previous video, we talked about defense mechanisms, us trying to defend ourselves if somebody attacks us right away. And there might be some legitimate reason for why we want to do that. But many times our fears, our emotions might not be as rational as we feel they might be. Remember, feelings? Feelings are the subjective meaning we give to these emotions. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not always rational. Something tells me that you might not be as rational as you think you are all the time either. And again, so why is this important? We cannot change every aspect of our lives. Understanding why you do the things you do might help us to control irrational behavior. So understanding why you want to avoid that conversation with your parents about getting married, why you want to avoid that commitment with your significant other, why you want to, not be social or not wanting to meet other people and befriend other people, why you would like to be alone. It could be that there are very valid reasons for that. But if the reason for these kind of behavior is not rational, you might be missing out on a lot of things. So attack your motivation, understand why you do the things you do. You might find out, you know what, I like what I'm doing right now and it's completely fine. Or on the other hand, you just might realize that this is not the way I want to be living my life. And that's where I would like to give you guys a bring-in step for this time. Think about situations in your life that you find difficult to approach, and that can be anything from an awkward conversation with your parents to just having a chit chat with the local cashier. And it doesn't need to be anything big. The goal here is to try to understand why we don't want to say hi back to the cashier, or why we don't want to talk to our parents. In the end, the more you know about yourself, the more you control your behavior. And this is where I would like to end for this time. If you like this video, please subscribe and give it a big thumbs up. If you want to comment something, comment on the comment section down below. If you have any question to me, send an email to this email address right here. I'm Kasim, and I'll see you next time.
I'm too sexy for my love, too sexy for my